Good evening. Good evening and welcome to ICU TV Main News. We take a look at the stories making headlines. ZRA seizes over 3.7 million in crackdown on non-compliant mines in Kasempa. Over 2.8 million are unaccounted for in the Limulunga Town Council funds. Grade 9 external and 2025 GC examinations result announced. And in international news, Netanyahu does not rule out further strikes on Hamas leaders. And in sports news, Nkana Football Club docked 3 points over ineligible player. With the news in details, my name is Chakubeba Mirakomsonda. The Zambia Revenue Authority ZRA, through its investigation department, has seized cash amounting to over 3.7 million US dollars as suspected undeclared income and taxes, following an enforcement operation targeting 4 non-compliant mining sites in Kasempa district. This operation is part of the authority's ongoing efforts to combat tax evasion, promote adherence to tax regulations, and safeguard government's revenue. ZRA Corporate Communications Manager Oliver Nzala says the mining companies involved in the raid were identified as Katenge Resources Limited, Ken Reliable, Sunyon Investment, and Sino Octasin. Mr. Nzala further confirmed that one of the director of Sino Octasin, Mr. Hang Changi, was arrested on site after attempting to bribe ZRA officer with 10,000. He adds that suspect was immediately handed over to the Anti-Corruption Commission, SCC, for further investigations and potential prosecution. Mr. Nzala emphasizes that ZRA upholds a zero-tolerance policy towards corruption and will continue strengthening enforcement measures to protect national resources from illicit mining activities.
The most important thing is to ensure that everyone who's earning income and they are eligible to pay taxes by law is to ensure that
Like
they
this?
are compliant in their dealings
Ah,
with the Republic of Zambia. And in this particular case, we want to ensure that everyone who's involved in mining of any type of metal, they abide by the provisions of the law when it comes to their tax obligations and rights. So this is what we're doing as an authority. In Kasempa, of course, we did raid 4 companies. These were Katenge Resources Limited, Ken Reliable, Sunyon Investment, and Sino Octasin. And however, what we did discover is that during our operation, cash amounting to over 3.7 million kwacha and about 3,091 US dollars was seized as suspected undeclared income and taxes. Further, one of the directors belonging to directors of Sino Octasin, Mr. Wang Jing, was arrested on site after attempting to stash about 10,000 kwacha into the pocket of one of our officers, ZRA, in an effort to obstruct the officer from carrying out his duties. We have, however, handed over that director to the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, for further investigations and possible prosecution.
An esteemed 2.8 million has reportedly gone missing from the sector account of Limulunga Town Council in Western Province. Council Secretary Namenda Kaonga confirmed the matter, noting that irregularity discovered on July 31, 2025. According to Mr. Kaonga, approximately 2 million kwacha could not be traced from the account designated for supporting functions and default department. He stated the issue has been formally reported to the police and that investigations are currently underway. Mr. Kaonga also urged residents to remain patient and calm while authorities work to uncover the details surrounding the missing funds. And in more news, the Ministry of Education has officially released the 2025 Grade 9 External and General Certificate of Education (GCE) examination results. According to Minister of Education Douglas Siakalima, the examinations were successfully administered and processed by the Examination Council of Zambia (ECZ). Mr. Siakalima says a total of 1,038 candidates registered for the Grade 9 external exams, while 149,240 registered for the GCE, with the majority being female in category. He notes that the overall pass rate for the Grade 9 external candidates was 78.29%, while the GCE recorded an 85.96 pass rate. Both exams saw varying degrees of absenteeism. Mr. Siakalima reveals that no question paper leakages were reported, although 496 suspected cases of examination malpractices were recorded and are under review. He further echoes that the 2025 Junior Secondary External Examination is the last of its kind under the previous curriculum, while the GCE will continue to be offered in future examination cycles.
Failed the examination. And now time to examination malpractice.
Guys,
allow me to finally deal with the
numbers
issue of examination malpractice. I'm glad to report that both the Junior Secondary External and the General Certificate of Examination were conducted without any leakage of question papers. I extend my sincere gratitude to all stakeholders who played a vital role in ensuring the security of the question papers. However, other forms of examination malpractice involving collusion, assistance, and smuggling of unauthorized materials into the examination rooms were reported. Specifically, a total of 17 cases of suspected examination malpractice were reported during the 2025 Junior Secondary External Examination, while a total of 479 cases were reported during the 2025 General Certificate of Education Examination. The results of all the affected candidates have been withheld pending determination by an appropriate committee of the Examinations Council of Zambia Board. I wish to reiterate the government of the Republic of Zambia will not tolerate any form of examination malpractice, and erring individuals shall be dealt with in accordance with the law.
The Independent Broadcasting Authority (IBA) Board Chairperson, Mr. Chikosola Chula, officially welcomed the newly appointed Director General, Mr. Webster Malido, to the authority today. Mr. Malido assumed his role effective today and was warmly received by management and staff during a brief introductory meeting. In his remarks, Mr. Chula highlighted the critical role, collaboration, professionalism, and dedication in enabling IBA to fulfill its mission of regulating and supporting a dynamic broadcasting industry in Zambia. He also extends appreciation to the Acting Director General, Mrs. Susan Dimungu, for her steadfast leadership and commitment during the interim period. In his address, Mr. Malindo pledges to build on the authority's achievements by enhancing operational efficiency, encouraging innovation, and maintaining high broadcast standards. He expresses confidence in the staff's capabilities, noting that their collective expertise would be instrumental in driving continued progress in the sector. We are now taking our first break. Stay tuned for more local stories.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Welcome back, and now in our local stories. The Lusaka Magistrate Court has handed down a 24-month prison sentence to 2 individuals convicted of attempting to use witchcraft against President Hakainde Hichilema. Justin Mabulesi Kandunde, 42, a Mozambican national, and Leonard Piri, 43, from Sinda district in Eastern Province, were found guilty on 2 counts professing knowledge of witchcraft and unlawful possession of charms. They received 24 months for the first charge and 6 months for the second, with the sentence to run concurrently. Magistrate Fine Mayambu, who presided over the case, acknowledged that both men were first-time offenders and had already been in custody since December 2024. He also pointed out that the law permits a fine for such offences and that there were no aggravating factors, especially considering President Hichilema's public stance rejecting belief in witchcraft. However, Magistrate Mayambu emphasized that the severity of the crime could not be dismissed. He further notes that the alleged act succeeded the outcome could have been fatal within 5 days, as claimed during the trial proceedings. Despite the president's disbelief in witchcraft, the court found that the intent and potential consequences of the accused actions to be of serious concern. And in more news, a portion of the perimeter wall at Zambezi Primary School has been damaged by elephants, prompting actions from wildlife authorities. The Department of National Parks and Wildlife has begun constructing a perimeter fence aimed at keeping wild animals within the Mosotunya National Park boundaries. The new double-layer fence extending the Nakatindi gate for Charisma Hotel will include electric wiring designed to prevent elephants from entering nearby residential areas. Partnering with Njovu African Wildlife Conservation DNPW has also ramped up community awareness initiatives to reduce human-wildlife conflicts in areas frequently affected by elephant movements. During a meeting in Nakatindi Ward, Regional Extension Officer Gertrude Mutale urged residents to protect the new fencing and educate children about the dangers of approaching wild animals. Wildlife Police Officer Clint Katele appealed to the public to report any instances of vandalism involving the new fence. Local residents who attended the meeting reported a noticeable decline in elephant intrusions since the installation of the electric barrier. Mangala Muya, one of the residents, shared that those living near the fence now feel safer than before. Permanent Secretary for Technical Service at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, Nicholas Piri, has emphasized the importance of accurate and up-to-date reporting for the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, by the local councils. Speaking at an ICT training workshop for local authorities, Mr. Piri encouraged council to staff embrace digital tools that enhance development efforts nationwide. He stresses the value of the training, urging participants to make full use of the skills and knowledge being shared. Mr. Pili also announced that the government plans to provide laptops to the Smart Zambia Institute to further strengthen its ICT infrastructure. In a related statement, Ministry's ICT Director Judith Bene said the training aims to enhance the capacity of ICT officers in effectively gathering, managing, and presenting CDF data. You're still watching ICU TV. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back for sports and international news. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Zambia Research and Development Center, an institution dedicated to national development through capacity building and community development. Established in 2007 by a group of professionals and lecturers, ZRDC has since become a hub of research and innovation in the country. Registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Registrar of Societies, ZRDC pursues cutting-edge research to address pressing social and economic challenges. Get involved. ZRDC engages in activities that stimulate international collaboration, promote knowledge sharing, and make research expertise available to decision makers. Our mission at ZRDC is to foster innovation and capacity building for national development. We believe in addressing poverty and underdevelopment through institutional and capacity building, human empowerment, and gender participation. In our quest to foster innovation and capacity building for national development, ZRDC launched the ZRDC University Sponsorship for Capacity Building and Development Program to facilitate knowledge advancement among ZRDC researchers and those intending to join the research community. Qualified Zambian citizens can pursue education at credible universities in Zambia with guaranteed prospects of joining the ZRDC research community. ZRDC engages in industrial and technological research, covering research development and innovative investigations to drive dynamic industrial development at national and regional levels. Join us at the Zambia Research and Development Center as we continue to innovate, empower, and shape a brighter future for Zambia. ZRDC, fostering innovation and capacity building for national development.
And now in international news, Israel Prime Minister. Welcome back. And now in international news, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ruled out further strikes on Hamas leaders following last week's attack in Qatar, saying that they would not have immunity wherever they are. Speaking at the joint press conference with the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Jerusalem, Netanyahu said every country had the right to defend itself beyond its borders. Israel's decision to target senior Hamas leaders in Qatar, a close U.S. ally, drew international outrage and criticism from the U.S. President Donald Trump. Hamas said 6 people were killed, but that its leaders survived. When pressed on whether the U.S. had any involvement in the strike, Netanyahu told journalists that they did it on their own. Still in international news, the U.S. Treasury Secretary has said Washington has reached a framework deal with China on the ownership of TikTok's America's operations. Scott Bessent said the framework was set in trade talks in Madrid to pave the way for U.S. ownership. He added that the U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping would complete the deal on Friday. China has not commented. Trump said on Truth Social that talks in Madrid had gone very well, with a deal reached on a certain company that young people in our country very much wanted to save. A deadline is looming for the Chinese owner of TikTok to find a buyer for its America operations or face a ban in the US. We take a short break. Stay tuned for sports news.
Did you know that mental health conditions are treatable and recovery is possible? Hi, I'm Nkana Moyo. I'm your host on Let's Talk Mental Health. I invite you all to this show where you freely express yourself, and together we find a solution. For more details, you can contact 0777 93 73 92, and we'll be there to help you find solutions to whatever you're going through.
And now sports news. Nkana Football Club has been dealt a significant blow after the Football Association of Zambia First Player Status Committee ruled the DOC 3 points from their MTN Super League Week 3 victory against Green Buffaloes. The decision came after it was determined that Nkana fielded defender Ndunu Zulu, who was deemed ineligible due to registration issues. As a result, Green Buffaloes has been awarded 3-0 victory, while Nkana has been fined 10,000 payable within 7 days. The Kitwe Giants have expressed disappointment at the decision, insisting they followed all registration procedures and attributing the issue to a system glitch in the first registration process. Nkana plans to appeal the decision, confident it will be overturned. Brings us to the end of our main news. But before we go, we take a quick recap on the stories that made headlines. ZRA seizes over 3.7 million in crackdown on non-compliant mines in Kasempa. over 2.8 million kwacha unaccounted for in Limulunga Town Council funds. Grade 9 external and 2025 GC exam results announced. And in international news, Netanyahu does not rule out further strikes on Hamas leaders. In our sports news, Nkana FC docked 3 points over Ineligible player. Thank you so much for watching ICU TV Main News. Stay glued for our Facebook page, ICU TV, and our website at icutv.z.com. Have a good night.